'tis the season to eat lots, and that's okay. I'm apologizing in advance if my camera shakes because it's on a desk, on a tripod, but I'm leaning on the desk like a moron. It's the holidays. People go to great lengths to make food tasty over the holidays. There's a lot of emphasis on eating. Unless you have, a medical reason for avoiding a particular food, unless you are on a medical diet, a doctor has prescribed a diet for you, my advice is just enjoy it. This is the way I treat the holidays. I don't stress about what I eat. This is not a time to diet. That's what January 1st is for. That's what January 1st and resolutions are for, right? No, but really, there's a connection there. The holidays are a time to eat, and to eat some more, to celebrate, to spend time with loved ones, and to eat. So enjoy it. I don't diet over the holidays. I have in the past. And yeah, that sucked. It's no fun. And here's the thing, everyone stresses, well, not everyone. A lot of people stress about weight gain over the holidays. The reality is, yeah, you can gain weight. It is a possibility that you're going to gain some weight over the holidays, but most likely any weight gain that you see, any increase in the number on the scale is water weight. Usually when we're going to all these events, to parties, to people's houses, we're eating a lot more salt than normal, a lot of salty snacks, appetizers, that kind of thing. We're eating a lot of carbs, okay? And salt and carbs both cause water retention. We gain water weight from those things. The scale can go up quite a bit after eating a salty and or high carb meal, okay? Go to the movies, have some popcorn the next day, the scale weight is going to be higher. That's just the way it is. And yeah, a week or however long of holiday feasting, eating a lot of stuff that you don't normally eat, the scale weight, that number is going to go up. And a lot of that is going to be bloating. And it's temporary. It's nothing to stress about. Nothing to stress about. It's temporary. Not a big deal. But yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy the holidays. Try to eat without guilt. I always find that when I feel guilty about my eating, when I have judged my eating and told myself I'm bad or my eating choices were bad, I ended up eating more than I normally would. I ended up overeating to compensate for, that feeling of restriction when you tell yourself you shouldn't do something and then you think, oh fuck, and there's that part of you that rebels. I always end up overeating and eating way more than I would have if I just said, hey, nothing's off the table. I can eat whatever I want. No judgment. Okay? And it might be, I tell myself, oh, I feel guilty after eating a meal. I end up eating more. After that meal, I end up eating more the next day. It might be a week later. It finally catches up to me. But that guilt always leads to overeating at some point. So it's not worth it. Let go of the guilt. Enjoy it. And the guilt, it's just like you're taking away the pleasure that meal was supposed to provide in the first place. We eat all this stuff for pleasure, for enjoyment. And if we add guilt to that, well, what's the fucking point, right? What's the point? Let it go. Just enjoy it. It's a short period of time. Enjoy it. That being said, there are some strategies you can use if you're wanting some kind of balance, because part of the overeating, we can end up feeling kind of crappy just physically. I sometimes feel that way. Like I haven't had a big turkey dinner, that kind of dinner in a long time since my divorce. It's been great. Don't have to deal with all the big chaos at Christmas. Now it's pretty chill. It's so nice. It's so relaxing. And yeah, I do family stuff and visiting and that kind of thing, but it's not nearly as chaotic and stressful. Anyway, I sleep so much better too. But that's not what this video is about. But yeah, what I would find is, those meals or like going to someone's house and there's all the appies. I love appetizers, okay, but I would eat all that stuff, a lot of salty stuff, a lot of carbs, a lot more fat than I'm used to. And I would end up feeling kind of gross just from the huge variety of food and the huge quantity of food that I was eating, and probably all the salt too. So what I tend to do, and I do this not just around the holidays, but anytime there's going to be some meals where I don't have any control over what I'm going to be eating, whether it's at a holiday event, going to someone's house for dinner, going to a restaurant. My kids and I go to a lot of conventions, anime conventions, and we'll be eating fast food or whatever's available. So what I do to counteract that, I try and find some balance the rest of the day so that I don't end up feeling like shit after, a day of eating crap, right? Not saying it's all crap, but you know what I mean. Like you eat fast food and you kind of feel gross after. So I would balance that with the meals that I do have control over, like say breakfast and lunch. I would focus on the things that those other meals don't necessarily provide. And I would, cut back on the things that I get too much of in those meals. So say I'm going to someone's house for dinner or to a party, I'm going to be getting a lot more salt than I normally do. So I'm going to limit my salt the rest of the day. I'm going to be getting probably a lot more fat than I normally eat. So I'll keep it low fat or, very little fat the rest of the day. I'm going to probably not be eating a lot of fruit and vegetables. So I will be prioritizing fruit and veggies for those other meals that I do have control over. And I'll be eating a lot of carbs. So I might cut back on the carbs apart from fruit. I might, cut back on how much carbohydrate I'm eating, or I will focus on high fiber sources of carbs, right? So like whole grains, legumes, that kind of thing. So healthier versions, not just like processed snacks and that kind of thing. And then also I may or may not be getting high quality protein sources at whatever event I'm going to. Like if I'm going to a convention, I'm eating fast food, I may or may not be getting good sources of protein. So I'll make sure that I'm eating good sources of protein at home, like lean cuts of meat, fat cut off, eggs or egg whites, beans, soybeans, lentils, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein powder, that kind of thing. So lean sources of protein and fruits and vegetables. And then maybe like a little bit of fat, a little bit of grains if I need it, like if I'm super hungry. But apart from that, I'll be keeping those meals kind of lean just to balance out the heavier meals later in the day. And this way, like having that fiber from the fruit and vegetables and the protein, those meals are quite filling, I find. Like when I'm focusing on protein and fruit and veg in the morning and at lunchtime, that keeps me satisfied and it keeps my blood sugars pretty stable throughout the day. And then I don't feel starving hungry when I show up at the event. So I'm not necessarily going to overdo it, right? I'm going to eat, according to my appetite kind of thing. And also because I'm eating, less salty stuff, less fatty stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a good appetite at the event and I'm going to be able to enjoy myself. I'm not going to feel gross from eating a fried breakfast, greasy breakfast and then going to some event. I'm saving all the tasty, pleasurable stuff for the event, right? Not to say that my other meals are going to be not tasty, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm just more so focusing on fuel. I might make smoothies. I might do like an egg white omelet with lots of veggies, just something, it's fuel. It's going to taste good, but it's just to, keep me going through the day. And then I'll save my appetite for the event. So yeah, that's some stuff that I do. And then lots of water, stay hydrated because I am going to be eating a lot of salt, carbs, that kind of thing at the event. I'm going to be bloating, right? Getting that water weight. Ask anyone who gets periods what that's like. The scale weight can go up quite a bit just from that water weight. So don't be surprised if you go to these events and you gain weight from them. It is temporary. Remember, it's temporary. But yeah, drink a lot of water, and you could try to make your other meals that you do have control over a little more balanced. Get lots of fiber, lean sources of protein, that kind of thing. And yeah, drink your water and get lots of sleep. And otherwise, have a good time. It's the holidays. That's what it's about. Celebrate it. Have a good Friday night. Sorry for all the jiggling. And I will see you. I'm probably going to film tomorrow. And then, yeah, we'll see how it goes over the holidays. And I'm going to talk soon about New Year's resolutions and talk about what mine are and see if you guys want to share too. So have a good night.